Hi, thanks for tuning in. This is just a quick video to tell you a little bit about the various ways you can manage your email if you're a small business with your own privately hosted website. We're making the assumption that you've got your own privately hosted website with a company like ourselves, which means you'll have one of these, a mail server as we call it. It's called a mail server because it serves up the mail. It's connected to the internet 24 hours a day, usually located in a central location like London, Cambridge or Reading. And you can think of it like a PO box system at a post office or a pigeonhole, somewhere that's collecting your emails all the time, even when you're sleeping. We'll come back to the mail server shortly. A couple of other concepts that you'll come across when you're setting up your various devices, your computer devices. You'll hear of something called the POP3 protocol, and you'll come across the IMAP protocol. POP3 is the more traditional protocol where you connect to the mail server from your computer and basically download your messages, clearing them from the mail server and only storing them and keeping them on your device. IMAP is slightly more modern. You connect to the mail server and you go through a process of synchronization, which basically copies all the emails from the mail server onto your device in a temporary way. Very handy when you're going away. Now, how does this all fit into reality? Well, let's go back to basics. Here we have somebody who wants to send you an email. They've composed your email, typed your email address into the to box, press the send button, and off it goes straight to your mail server, which we mentioned earlier. You'll have typically your own desktop computer. Might not be a desktop computer. More increasingly, it could be a laptop computer. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether it's an Apple computer or a Microsoft Windows computer. And there are a whole myriad of different software packages that you can choose to manage your emails. If it's a Windows computer, for example, you might be using Microsoft Outlook, which is the product you get with Microsoft Office. Alternatively, you might use the free software that comes with Windows. It used to be called Outlook Express, then it became Microsoft Windows Mail, and it keeps changing its name all the time. We're not here to tell you about all the different software packages that are available or how to choose between them, but either way, you need to find your own chosen software and set it up with your email account to connect up to your mail server. A part of the process of setting up your email for the first time in your chosen software will be to choose the protocol that you use, either POP3 or IMAP. And POP3 is the usual choice because, of course, with POP3 what we'll be doing is downloading our messages from the web server onto your computer. They are removed from the mail server, and that's a good thing because these mail servers typically have very small hard disk capacities, and if you don't download your messages to your computer, very quickly you'll hit your limit, and that could stop other people from sending new messages to you. You download your messages onto your computer. That's the only place they are then stored. And of course, it's very important that you have your own backup systems in place to back up your email inbox. Now, it gets slightly more complicated nowadays because increasingly people have more of these devices as well. They are a type of computer. Even though an iPhone can make phone calls, it is basically another type of computer. So we're all using tablets and smartphones. And of course, these are generally used in a more mobile environment. Perhaps you're going for a business meeting far away, you may be going on holiday and want to keep on top of your work. So instead of leaving all your emails away at home, you want to still keep a connection so you can keep on top of stuff. And that's where, again, we set up our software to connect to the mail server. But this time, generally, although we get the choice of POP3 or IMAP, very often the choice will be IMAP. And as we said before, this simply sets a connection up between the device and the mail server, synchronizing the two so everything that's on the web server is also shown on your device as well. It's a temporary thing. Every time you synchronize, it does the same thing, removing messages that are no longer there. Important thing is that nothing gets downloaded. So you can deal with all your messages whilst you're on the go. You can send new messages. When you get back to your office, all those messages will still get downloaded into your inbox as if they are completely fresh new emails. Once they're on this computer, don't forget you won't be able to access them on your mobile device anymore. The mobile device using IMAP will only see what's on the web server. Once they're removed from the mail server, they are no longer accessible by IMAP. And this tends to be the general way in which people have their devices set up nowadays. There is one slight hitch that's coming up occasionally now, which is with the advent of tablets, we have come across a few people who've decided that they no longer need a traditional desktop computer or laptop. They may not be creating their own content and can do their job just as adequately on a tablet device. That's fine, but there is a slight problem here, because obviously if we remove the desktop computer from the equation, there's no POP3 access anymore. You can see the mail server will never get emptied. The one option would be to use a different protocol to IMAP. So when you're setting up your tablet, perhaps use POP3 instead, and that way all the messages would get downloaded from here, thus emptying the server. But obviously not so easy to do, because smart tablets tend to have a much smaller hard disk than a traditional computer. Another option that's worth considering is to use this, Gmail. That's Google's free email provision. You can set a Gmail email address up for absolutely nothing. You can connect it to your own domain name based email address. All your emails will be collected using the POP3 protocol, just as with your computer. You'll be able to access your emails on any computer anytime, and that goes for mobiles as well. And the great thing about it is nobody will ever know when they receive an email reply back to you that it's come from a Gmail address. It's completely cloaked. So if you are one of these people who doesn't use a traditional computer anymore, connecting your email address to Gmail could give you a better option. I hope that explains the basics on how you can set up your email management in the most common ways. There are lots and lots of other ways in which you can do it, but this is probably the best way you can do it as things stand today. If you have any other questions that you'd like to ask us about how you can set up your accounts, please do. However, we should point out that as a web design business, our responsibility is to provide you with the mail server. We ask all our customers to download their messages, and if you don't have appropriate advice or skills to choose the right software, to set up the software or the device, then obviously you need to make sure that you've got access to a good IT support firm who can give you that advice and support. I hope this has helped. Please get in touch if you have any other questions. Many thanks for listening. Goodbye.